Okay guys, we just have to talk about Jack Grealish. Honestly, what the heaven is going on with him? Everyone swore he was finished while he was at Manchester City, fans were fed up, pundits wrote him off, even Pep Guardiola gave up on him, and he showed that by icing him out, leaving him out of the Club World Cup squad and eventually forcing him out of the club this summer. But after just a few weeks at Everton, the former Aston Villa man already looks like one of the best players in the league again. At this point, we'll just have to hold our hands up and say we were all wrong about Jack Grealish. This dude was actually never finished, he was just in the wrong environment the whole time. First of all, the fact that Manchester City broke the British transfer record to bring him in 2021 put him under a lot of pressure. Having that £100 million price tag hanging over your head is a burden not many can carry. We have seen Coutinho, Pogba, Lukaku, Hazard and many world-class players struggle after moving to a bigger club for big money. Heck, it even appears that we're seeing Florian Wirtz struggle right now after completing a €125 million move to Liverpool this summer. It's just not easy on anybody, even the best of the best. But to worsen things for Grealish, Man City was just not the right fit for him stylistically. So many fans predicted it would not work, and they turned out to be absolutely right. Grealish is a free spirit who plays his best football when he's not boxed in by very strict structures, but we all know that that is exactly what you get when you play in a Pep Guardiola team. Except your name is Lionel Messi, you will have to abide by his very strict rules and demands. Thierry Henry once told a story about how Pep Guardiola took him off at half-time in a game against Sporting because he left his position. Henry, who was one of the best players in the world at the time, even scored a goal in that game, but it didn't matter to Guardiola. It's either you respect his plan or you face the consequences. That alone gives you an idea of what it was like for Grealish at City. It must have felt like his wings were clipped or he was put in a cage. But that's not even all. We'll talk about the other factors that affected him in a moment, but if you aren't yet subscribed to the channel, go do that right away so you never miss out on our amazing content. Now, back to Grealish. You see, because of the way Man City play, they're often up against low or mid blocks, which means there's hardly ever any space for Grealish to operate and play his best football. That was why you often saw him shuffle, and then end up passing the ball backwards. The Grealish we all watched and enjoyed at Aston Villa thrived in space. He loved to drift in from the left into central areas and make things happen. But due to the Pep structure and the opponents he often faced while he was at City, he just could not be afforded that much space and would not be allowed to drift into central zones as often as he would have loved to. These factors put together made Grealish very ineffective, and over time it definitely affected his confidence, which was what made it look like he got worse over time. And when he looked bad, he looked really bad. I mean, this dude managed only 2 assists in his last 2 full Premier League seasons at Man City. Yeah, things were that bad. But interestingly, in just 2 starts at Everton, he has already doubled that number and currently leads the way for most assists in the Premier League early in the season. He didn't even need time to click into gear or get used to the new tactics, he just hit the ground running, which means that he has always had it in him. To be fair to Grealish though, he did pull his weight in the 2022-23 season when Man City won the treble. He played a very vital role for City in that campaign, often helping to slow down games and draw fouls when necessary, while also contributing to goals and assists. But even then, he was not at the level required of him, the level that we all saw at Aston Villa. But just a couple weeks after completing a loan move to Everton, he already looks like he's back to his Aston Villa level. And the simple explanation is that he now has a lot more space to operate in and a much freer role than he had when he was at Manchester City. See, Grealish won't always score goals, but he's a master at creating, dictating the tempo of games, and exploiting space. And he can do all of that to a very high degree at Everton thanks to the way David Moyes sets up his team as well as the types of opponents the Toffees are always up against. Everton will hardly come up against low blocks, which means that Grealish won't have to beat 2 to 3 defenders before getting into the box as he often had to do while he was at City. So, just a change of environment already makes the Englishman look like a much better footballer. So yeah, we were all wrong about him. Everyone thought he was just finished, and of course, it didn't help that he was often seen partying or getting drunk. Whether it's during trophy celebrations or just a normal night out, Jack Grealish has been captured inebriated on one too many occasions, which led fans to believe that his heart is just no longer in it anymore. Everyone said he had let the fame get to his head and was not being dedicated to his craft. Well, it turns out that that wasn't really the problem either. Jack Grealish is a very talented player, and apparently he just needed the right environment to flourish. It seems like he's a player who needs to be at a small or medium-sized club where he's allowed a free role to occupy the spaces he wants. That way, he's able to reach his best levels and elevate the standards of the team. With the way he's going, Grealish could finally return to the England squad just in time for the 2026 World Cup. He missed out on the 2024 Euros squad because of his poor form at City, but if he keeps up the form with which he has started at Everton, he could really force Tuchel to bring him back into the fold. And as you know, England's left flank of attack is still there for the taking. Rashford is still trying to return to top form, and Anthony Gordon is yet to light things up in an England shirt. So we could really see Jack Grealish going to the 2026 World Cup as England's starting left winger. What a redemption story that would be. We know some of you might be saying that it is still too early to be saying all of this, but the Everton fans surely don't think so. They say never fall in love with a lone player, but just 3 weeks in, Everton fans already seem to be deeply in love with Jack Grealish, but we now want to hear from you. Do you think Jack Grealish can indeed get back to being a world beater like he was at Aston Villa, or is this just some kind of new club bounce? Do you think he can really secure a place at the 2026 World Cup, or are you of the opinion that a return to the national team is no longer on the cards for him, considering he's already 30 years old? How many goals and assists do you think he'll get for Everton this season? Get into the comments and share your opinions with us. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also turn on the bell notification so you never miss out on new content. Catch you in the next one. Bye.
Do you want to make money with affiliate marketing? Join the Goal90 Shop affiliate program and start earning today. Get your unique affiliate link and exclusive discount coupon to share with your audience. Every sale made through your link earns you a 10% commission. No limits, just real earnings. Don't miss out. Turn your influence into income now.